Hello, everybody. Just give everyone a few moments to join. Hello. Let's see who's coming on board. Okay, gave everyone a minute to get on board. Let's just say warm welcome to all the members that are joining, and if you've brought anyone along, how's it, Bridget? How's it, Jochen? If you've brought anybody along, get them. I'll give you a couple of minutes just to get them in here, and just update the members so long before we just do a cap on what CIT is. I'm getting quite a lot of questions of people asking about it. So every week I kind of just do a summary of it. But quickly, the week's update. After the fortnight of the big dips that we've been seeing with the crypto market, we're still pleased to just give you under 3% for the weeks, which isn't too bad. We've had a couple of hiccups through the course of last week as well, which I'll just chat to you about now shortly as well. But yeah, it's just under 3% return. We just went over $10,000 for the week. We've got about 70% of the tokens in circulation that are out and available, and things are looking up. Things are looking good. I've attached a little video to this. When we finished here, you're welcome to watch it. It's just something interesting that I found, which I thought that I'd share with you guys. And there's a lot of positive outlook, and some people are, well, the video is looking at it starting to happen through the course of the end of next month. And there's a couple of predictions there, which the presenter gives you a few tips on what to look for in the coming weeks in the first quarter of 2019. And it's someone that I've been following for a little while that's been getting this kind of spot on, if I can put it that way, for the last couple of years with regards to when he's forecasting, buy, sell, this, that, and the rest. And he's actually got a group that he has quite a few thousand followers that are taking him up quite seriously. So have a look at that video. It will give you an indication of why we're pretty excited about where CIT is going and what it can do for you going into the future. And then also for the guys that are interested in marketing, I found something that is kind of like a very hands-free opportunity. It's going to launch in about 6-7 weeks time. I've been speaking with the owner there, and I'll have a chat with my team going forward. I think we're going to dummy run this and see if it works. But if you've got any online, offline business that you're looking at marketing, preferably marketing it to people online, but I mean, you can use the facilities and the systems and so on for offline businesses. And if it's something that's going to interest you, just let me know. Pop me a PM. I'll send you the email and all the details and so on. There is a cost involved, but it's a very automated system. It actually helps to find referrals for your business, any of your businesses, and I think you can have up to 6 different businesses that you can advertise with this company. And this is what they do, and that's what's interesting me, especially for CIT and for our members, just to help us, give us some growth and exposure. So I spoke with the owner there, and he seems pretty excited, and there might be a few developments that we get a stronger partnership going forward, but those are things in the working. Then with regards to payouts, payouts has been quite a challenge. Just to get it going automatically from our side has been a challenge. Initially, we started, it was very manual, and as you guys are aware, Kevin was doing it manually, and then we wanted to make sure that we, getting the invoices and tax compliant and making sure everything is done by the book. So we went to a third party to help us out with this, and the last 2-3 weeks of communication with the company has just been up and down and erratic, and we started just getting a little bit concerned that this relationship we have with the third party is maybe not in our best interest. And over the last week, we realized it's not going to work. So Bridget's kind of written up a notice for everyone on all the groups. So just have a read through it. But bottom line is we're breaking that relationship with this company, and we're going to look for something else. We actually have 1 or 2 in the pipeline, so we'll speak to them and see if they can just deliver the service a little bit more streamlined. And that's exactly what we want. We want Thursdays to be the payout day, and preferably within 24 to 48 hours, wallet dependent, depending on which wallet you have, the funds are available. So my apologies to anyone that's requested any withdrawals for the last 7 days. They'll be done within the next couple of days, so you should see them in your wallets this weekend. But the notice talks about it. My apologies, it's something that's out of CIT's hands. We endeavor to try and just streamline things, and this is one of the things that's the most important to streamline. And once again, just thanks for everyone's patience. I have spoken to quite a few of you guys that have requested withdrawals, so we're sorting that out, and really appreciate the teamwork and just seeing us through till we can have the problem rectified. But there's no problem on our side. It's just getting the third party, making sure that we're compliant in all the ways that we're supposed to be. Then Jürgen and Helen had a couple of questions, and then I also had today that emailed. I don't know if he's going to join sooner or later, but just what's CIT quickly, and just a rundown. And I think this video should be something that you keep if you're chatting to people, or bring them onto the live broadcast. So if they've got any questions, then I'll be able to help answer it. As long as you have tokens, as long as you're holding CIT tokens, you'll earn every week indefinitely. All right. So up until the point where you decide to sell those tokens, that's where even if you sell a percentage, the percentage that's left in your back office is the percentage that would be earning you. So it's like a stake, holding a share of the company or whatever. That's the amount of tokens would be the stake that you're holding. All right. And as long as you're holding stake, you could obviously earn from the weekly earnings. Then a couple of people are still struggling why we keep 50% and we pay out 50%. The 50% long-term goes into a long-term trading account. It's obviously, remember when we started this, it was one of the options for everybody was you can go out and you could obviously do this yourself. There isn't a problem. The reason we created this was because a lot of us, myself included, we possibly have day jobs. We're trying to get onto a more permanent thing. And in the meantime, you need the help of an outsider to come and, trade for you, make sure that your money is working for you, and, there's some growth and so on. But a lot of the companies that we saw in the last 2-3 years were taking all your funds, then they would take fees and all sorts of things off that, and then they would go and trade, and it's high percentage of risk. So what we came up with, and then the alternative was you go and put it into something that's long-term, and you got to wait. So we try to create something that's going to give you some return every week. And as that grows, the return will obviously be substantial enough for you to live off. You could earn a good $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000+ per week if you're holding enough tokens. And I think that's where everyone is. Everyone's in this building phase, building up the tokens, taking their earnings from every week and plowing it back in to build this foundation for themselves. And that in the next 6 to 7, 8 months, or depending on maybe how Bitcoin does in the next couple of months, as an indicator, the cryptocurrency market will definitely boom, and then you build these tokens up and it will give you that weekly return. But while you're getting the weekly return, something else is happening on the other end, and that's that 50% that you see going into the long term. And that goes into a pool. So instead of trading that as heavily as the guys are weekly, it sits there and it grows because I'm sure you're aware, from 2 years ago where Bitcoin was sitting at 150, last year it was hovering around 300-400 mid-year. Towards the end of the year, beginning of this year, it was hovering around 20, then took the dip to 8, and it's now hovering around the 6.5 mark, and so on. And we believe things will grow, but the whole point of it is that over a 2, 3, 4 year span, you would see these cryptocurrencies obviously grow and improve by 300, 400, 500 up to a couple of 1,000%, which is what history has shown. And I know you can't really look back, but it gives you a good idea of what could possibly be happening going forward. And that's what we suspect can happen. So this 50% will keep growing, and that creates the value of the token that you're holding. The current value of that token is preset. It's preset at 80 cents. That's what you're purchasing at every week. Come the end of the ICO, or the token sale, we would then see the effect of having all of these long-term sitting there growing in the background. And because our token is limited, right? Because the token is limited, there's going to be a point where the growth of these long-term assets is going to kind of put us in a position where we are self-sustaining. And that's where I always come up and I always tell everybody it's the only self-sustaining token that there really is, because it's not backed by people selling it, people using it, people doing this and this and this, and you need a whole bunch of transactions or sales or exchanges to make these this token actually have some value. Its value will continue to grow. So we're sitting at like 300 members at the moment, and if I had to use a very exaggerated example, if we only had 300 members, within the next year and a half, we'd possibly be through the token sale, and everything that's in the long term would then give the value of the token, and we trust that it would be way more than 80 cents that it currently is. So you can obviously see there's value in doing it both ways. But I've always been one, you can put the money aside, wait 30 years, go on pension or retire or whatever, and then you have a lump sum, and you kind of look back and you weren't able to kind of enjoy any of these fruits. Where if you're doing it both ways, you can kind of enjoy life, and by the time you get 10, 15, 20, 30 years down the line here, if you took a couple of tokens out for your kids right now, they'd probably love you, and you'd love doing it as well, because in 30, 40 years, these things are going to be magnificently worthwhile. And then you get to the opportunity to decide if you want to sell them or not. And then you'd sell them, and the value of a token is, I can't predict it, but I can tell you now that it's going to be times more than what it is now. And the proof is when you do click on our weekly update, you can go and see what the long term is doing and how it's growing, because everything goes in there. Then on top of it, you got like, besides the referral commission that's deducted, nothing else is deducted from your earnings. So you continue to earn week in, week out, as long as you hold tokens, and we don't charge you guys anything extra for it. So the service that we're running is absolutely free, right? We earn exactly the same way you earn. So we purchase tokens every week. We started out just like you guys, and that's something that we wanted, because we wanted to maximize the money that's in there to its fullest potential. So Johan, I hope that's giving the answers that Helen's looking for. Just let me know if she needs anything else or other questions. Then a couple of questions on the coin. All right, so when the ICO is sold, what we do is we match you up the token. So let's say you've got 1,000 tokens. We'll give you 1,000 coins just to match it up, right? So you've already doubled your money because the coin's value is backed by the assets as well, which is the token, okay? The coin then is the tool that you could go and use on exchanges. The coin you can go and purchase services and products with, and you can go and spend it X, Y, Z, right? But what we need to understand here is that only will happen once we're through the token sale. And the quicker we get through the token sale, the quicker we can move forward with the rest of it. All right. The option for us to purchase back, we'd obviously love to purchase back. We made that statement in the white paper, and we'll have that up. You'll have that functionality on the website when the time is right. Everyone must just understand one thing is when you do a when you do a white paper, it's something that you're trying to predict going forward. You don't have anything. We didn't have anything to go on from other companies that are working, that do what we do, because there isn't. There's a lot of pop-up scam ones that are offering you a hell of a lot, but we're realistic. That's what we're about. We had a couple of the roadmap and the way we saw things happening, and as we started in January, the market crashed, went from 20 odd grand for a BTC all the way down to, I think we hit 12 within a matter of 2 weeks. Ethereum went plummeting from 1,004 to almost half, and things was just happening, and it was all just looking backwards. And in December, a hell of a lot of people were purchasing, and then in January they were looking to like either get out or make as much money quickly as possible. So all these guys that come up with these wonky freaking programs started promising 5%, 3%, 7%, and all of these types of things. And a lot of people started jumping in here because they just saw these massive returns quickly. And 2-3 weeks, maybe a month if you're lucky, it all crashed and burned, or they don't answer, the withdrawals are just not happening anymore, and so on. So when we started, we actually started in this funny point with everyone just being very protective of what they have. And nevertheless, we pursued it because we also saw it as an opportunity to show no matter what's happening in the market, CIT can come through it. So, and that's what we've been consistently doing week in and week out. And I'm very proud of the team for being able to do that, because we just keep giving results. And Gerard was also mentioning one of our clients. He sent me a couple of messages the last couple of days about ICOs, and there's about 2,500 of them, and 70% of them don't make it or haven't even made it past 6 months this year. And what's the ins and outs of ICOs and so on. This can't be compared to that, because we're established, we've already created the system. We're not dependent on the tokens for our business. The token is literally just a measure of what you are holding within this business. So, that's the way the payouts work. We need something to measure. Tony has 1,000 tokens and Jochen has 10,000 tokens. So Jochen's obviously going to get a slightly better return this week than I am, because he's holding a lot more stake in or the bigger piece of the pie at that moment in time. All right, so that's what we use the tokens for, just some form of measure. And then obviously to make sure that we have a measure for growth of our long term, which is the asset that we're holding, those 20-30 coins that we're holding. So it's important that everyone just understands these things and is very clear, and I'll keep explaining in all the different possible ways I can each week, just to make sure it's clear and there's no gray area. Are we on track? Well, we're not on track in the sense of the timeline, but are we on track in the sense of our business? Yes, definitely. We would have liked to be where we are now, 5 months ago. But because we're a passive earning project, and you don't have to go and refer, and you don't have to do these funny things that everyone does, your money just turns for itself. We don't have a lot of marketers on our team, and that's what we're trying to do. So if you're interested in joining CIT or wanting more information, just visit the website at the links at the end of the video, and then go and squiz through everything. And if you've got any questions, drop in. I'm here pretty much every Tuesday at 9:30, if not Wednesdays, but we'll announce. And then I just go through everything. Or pop me a personal message and I'll reply as soon as I can, just to get back to you with the best answer I can. Then, Jurgen, there was something else that you wanted to know. The weekly payouts, I think I did answer it, but it happens as long as you hold tokens. That's the biggest thing to understand. For you to earn, you need to hold tokens. Withdrawals we've discussed, and my apologies, we'll have that sorted out, and that should be streamlined by the end of the week. And then I'll even give an announcement once everything is up and running, and by next week Tuesday I can give you good feedback with regards to that. And then previous week, yes, everyone, we put the withdrawals on the group, just so that everyone can just see that we've got all the correct people. And people were just asking, is it correct some people are pulling a Bitcoin a week? Yes, it is correct. Some people are already pulling a Bitcoin a week, which is fantastic for us. That's paying out what, $6,500–7,000 a week to some people in our group. So our business is working perfectly, and it's working just the way we wanted it to work. Going forward, watch that video. It gives some interesting tips on what to do. And if a lot of people ask me when's a good time to purchase, so the sooner you purchase, the quicker you start earning, and the quicker you start building up. So it's extremely important to get into CIT as quickly as possible, and purchase the tokens. And if you have any problems, just join one of our groups. We're like a little happy family, a nice big happy family, because everybody is just out to assist and do whatever they can to make sure that we are all on track. So that's my update for this week. I hope I covered everything. Bridget, did I cover everything? I think I covered everything. Just see that I did. From my side, I think I covered everything. But yeah, if you're interested in that marketing opportunity, it's a hands-free marketing opportunity, so it can build your downline for you. Obviously, you need to do a little bit of setup, but it's not rocket science. Everything is kind of nicely put in template form. So I'm pretty excited about it. I like things that are automated, and it's going to, well, I work hard now, but hopefully in 6 months to a year's time, I won't have to work as hard, because everything will be nice and automated and streamlined like we're hoping it will be. And then we can just come in every now and again and just check our balances. Okay, perfect. I got the thumbs up from everybody saying, yes, I've covered everything. If there's no questions, then I'll see you guys next week with another update. Have a wonderful week. It's getting a bit warmer here, so I'm assuming up north it's slowly starting to get a little bit cooler, and I can't wait for summer to come. And we're really almost close to the end of the year. We'll do more to get more big. Yeah, I think we all need to do. Yeah, we need to all just kind of put that effort in. If you really don't know how to promote, I mean, I'm not going to force anybody to do it, but if you know people that know how to promote, or you've got friends that are promoting, send them our way. Between myself, Bridget, Jurgen, Harry, Erwin, we're a nice little team of people that are building this. If you know people that are interested, just send them our way. We'd love to speak to them. Let's explain what's going on, what we're doing, or bring them onto one of these and we can chat to them. But yeah, the biggest push every week, I say at this stage, is let's just get the word out there. We've got to turn this into a couple of thousand people, and then that little snowball effect will happen. And, you know, how do I put it? The people, everyone's bringing in friends and things like that. That's wonderful, which I really appreciate. It's just, I always want more, hey? I want the world to know of the opportunity, and I just, like they say, it's got to go viral, and everyone's got to jump on board. But, you know, patience is also a virtue, and we'll get there when we get there. And I think, you know, when the time is right, and our ducks are all in a row, which is also a blessing. We're getting all our things sorted out as a business. The people will just flock in, and things will just be the way they are supposed to be, which will be exciting. So that's it. Have a great week. Thanks for joining me. Pop me a message. Have a look at that video. It's a nice little video just to watch and be clued up with what's going forward. I think it's going to be something exciting towards the end of the year. And for my CIT members, that's definitely, if that video pulls off the way it's supposed to, you guys are going to have an exceptionally wonderful Christmas this year. That I can tell you. Cheers, man. See you next week.